So shout out to that Park Place, because I wouldn't have seen this otherwise. But apparently James Gunn just did an interview with GQ, and I still kind of dumbfounded about this because, as I've stated before, I have been a fan of season one. And because I don't like this season, and because I don't like the dumb storytelling, or I guess lack thereof, in season two, I am now being labeled a racist. Now, I was going to let some of this stuff slide from the show, but if you want to go that route, look at what you've put out onto your show the past two episodes alone. So don't be coming at me with the whole we're calling the fans racist because they don't like what. No, that whole play has been done 100 times over. It never works. And on top of that, bro, you're at the head of DC Studios. You are the head honcho of the DCU. You really want to go that route this early and you hadn't even put your second movie out? You talk about DOA. You talk about your projects being dead on arrival. Keep doing this shit. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to work out for you. Because I know if me, a casual fan of all this shit, I wasn't a big comic reader growing up, but I am aware of certain comics and stuff like that, don't get me wrong. But what made me fall in love with all this shit are the cartoon shows growing up, are the movies growing up. So, fam, miss me with that BS about racist if you don't like my show, racist if you don't like this storyline. We already hashed all the racist stuff out in the first season. So why in the second season are we still going down this route? Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you why. Because they knew, James Gunn and whoever else helped write this dog shit knew they didn't have a story to tell. If you don't have a solid story for Peacemaker, don't write it. But to give us a rehash, way worse, way less funny, I've only maybe laughed 3 times in 7 episodes. Like, bro, what are we doing at this point? But you know what? I'm getting too carried away. I'm ranting off before we even get into the article. Again, shout out to that Park Place. But let's go ahead and get into this shit. Hit that like, subscribe, all that good stuff. So, James Gunn calls fans quote-unquote racist in a recent interview while admitting that he has no oversight from WB on DCU projects. So let's stop right there real quick. Not only are you going out of your way to do this, not only have you completely destroyed the entire show of Peacemaker, I don't know how you're going to get people back on board after this, at least the majority back on board. And it wasn't a lot of people on board with Peacemaker anyway. So again, terrible, terrible, terrible fucking take. Terrible decision to make very early in your DC career. But now, what we're learning is that this guy, and again, I said this before, and this is what I wanted from actual directors when they direct movies for DC and Marvel, is that they have their own freedom. It's like, hey, we'll give you the outline of what's supposed to happen in the grand scheme, but do your own movie. And that doesn't happen. And we have yet to see any DC projects that don't involve James Gunn in terms of directing. So until we get that, I don't know if he's going to be the same way. But I did not know that WB has no oversight over James Gunn in this shit. And I'm not going to say that they should, even though season 2's dog shit. And I feel like with oversight, half of the dumbness that we have seen in season 2, half of the crappy writing we have seen in season 2, the shots at calling half of your fucking fan base fascists and shit like that, like, come on, man. You gotta know better. You gotta do better. Again, I'm not going to say that he should have that oversight, but had he have had that oversight, I don't think we'd see half the shit that we saw in this season. I'm just be straight with you. When in doubt, blame the fans. That's been Hollywood's favorite play for years now. And I'm gonna stop. I know I keep stopping during this. We're gonna get to the article, Chuck. But that's another thing. Because 10 years ago, when Ghostbusters came out, it was the Ghostbusters 2015, the all women's crew, and they got shit for it, as they should have. Because I was one of those people that was like, why the fuck are you doing this? No, we're not going to go pay our hard-earned money to go see this dog shit. And then they wanted to blame the fans again. And it's like, whoa. It's not that we don't like women and that they want to use the word toxic and all this other stuff. No. It's not none of that. It's the fact that simply you guys are taking a classic movie, a classic franchise, and completely changing it to where it's not even recognizable anymore. That's why we're mad. And then on top of that, you made them all women. No. Now, I know a lot of people like the Power Rangers movie that came out probably around that time, because it wasn't 10 years ago. About maybe like 7 or 8 years ago, the Power Rangers movie that came out. I know a lot of people that really liked that movie, even if they thought it was okay. I hated it. I absolutely fucking hated it. Now, again, I'm a guy that I'm like, look, just give me a simple story, give me a simple show. And this is what we could have gotten from Peacemaker. We could have gotten a better season from season 1. We didn't get that. Instead, we got a worse season than we got in season 1. And that's where I have the issue. Because it's not just the bad storytelling and the bad characters, whatever. But literally, Adebayo has no place in this entire fucking show after what happened in season 1. Like, what can she do now? She's not interesting anymore. Amanda Waller's out of the picture. So now she's literally just a fat black lesbian sidekick that can somehow outrun a whole bunch of fit white people. Like, not even making any fucking sense. So, like I said, y'all gotta miss me with the whole calling everybody all these names. As it says right here, toxic, racist, sexist, blah, blah, blah. They're like, nah. We just want a good movie. We just want a good show. Yeah, some things can have messaging in them, whatever, but when literally everything that we love is bashing their own fucking fan base, because all we're saying is, hey, stick to the characters in the story and stop trying to preach at us about real world shit that you still don't even know about because you don't live the everyday life of the average American. So you really don't know what the fuck you're talking about, let alone enough to even try and preach it to us in a film or in a show. No, they don't want to listen to that. They don't want to listen to that at all. So in a recent GQ interview, Gunn addressed the reaction to Peacemaker Season 2's alternate Earth twist. The alternate reality John Cena as Peacemaker has been escaping to all season is actually Earth X, which is dominated by Nazis and even includes fascist symbolism and the American flag. Again, guys, we live in the year 2025, and this is what they decided to put in a DC show. We just want our superheroes and a good story. They still don't get it. James Gunn looked at what MCU's doing, looked at what Kevin Feige's doing. It's like, man, we really fucked that up. Even though my movies were probably the only good movies of the last 2 phases, we still fucked that up, and I was still a part of that. I'm going to find a way to do even worse than that. I'm going to find a way to do even shittier than the MCU. Boy, he did it. Boy, he did it. Your movies ain't making... Superman ain't even cut close to what was the last like really big one. I don't even think Superman... Did Superman even beat Shang-Chi in the movie theaters? I think Shang-Chi made more money than fucking Superman. Don't quote me on that, but... Superman should be a $1 billion movie just for putting that movie out. And it's not. It wasn't. And then you just put it on stream in less than 90 days after it came out. This is ridiculous, man. This is fucking ridiculous. And then you do this, and you really think that your fans aren't going to find out that you said this? You had one job. And I even applauded James Gunn months ago during the Superman rollout where that gay dude tried to say, how does it feel about owning MAGA or whatever? And he's like, bro, it ain't got nothing to do with that. It ain't got nothing to do with MAGA or the other side or whatever. This movie's for everybody. This movie's for everybody to see because it's Superman. And then here you go less than 3 months later and you say this dumb shit because people don't like what you're putting out. You can't handle the heat, so get out the fucking kitchen. I was wondering, I was like, how come James Gunn wasn't the next guy up after, like, why isn't he like the apprentice to Kevin Feige for the MCU? Like, Kevin Feige can step down in 2030 and James Gunn, now we see why, because this dude's a fucking idiot. He can't handle the heat. Can you imagine Kevin Feige just blatantly saying after a movie's bad, it's a racist? What? Now, they insinuate a lot of things. Those producers are fucking nut jobs. Hello, Nate Moore. Fucking weirdo. But I can't imagine Kevin Feige doing anything, saying just straight up labeling people racist because a show is bad. I have a few races that have called me polarizing, but I'm okay with polarizing and letting races fall to the wayside. Like, he sounds like these 45-year-old pink-haired freaks on the sidewalks in New York when they get interviewed. I'm a weirdo to everybody, and then people feel uncomfortable. I feel uncomfortable in public in general, just stepping outside my front door because I'm a fucking weirdo. But I'm okay with owning the races. It's like, bruh, like, have you even faced real racism? Have you even witnessed real racism? Or are you eating up something that you were told in the classroom? Or at a lecture? Or maybe you have a weirdo parent. But fam, you talk about brain rot. James Gunn is literally showing his brain rot. And it's on full display. It's right here in 4K. He goes on to say, people have loved this episode the most, so it's exciting. You mean the 50 people that are in people's comment sections on their videos all over YouTube and all over social media? Whenever we come out about anything against Peacemaker and speaking bad about Peacemaker, you mean the same 50 people? It's an alarming statement for anyone who raised valid concerns about his work. Facts. If you dislike the episode, James Gunn suggests that maybe you're one of the racists. Yeah, again, this shit makes entirely no sense whatsoever. And if you don't know the part that I'm talking about, let's go ahead and go over here.
If he's so awesome, why'd he move to Nazi world?
I didn't say he was smart. I'm sure he didn't even notice. Sad part is, I'm not so sure this Nazi world is as different from our own world as we wish it was.
Damn straight.
Don't even get me started on the Judo Master, man. I didn't know that the actual actor is gay, by the way. Like, James Gunn picked, like, the shortest Asian, buff, gayest fucking, like, the only short gay Asian you could find. And casted him. And this dude ain't even acting, bro. Like, that's literally how this dude sounds. You don't believe me, man. Like, we're going to get back to what we just watched. But I just want to show you guys this, because this shit really... this shit is disturbing, bro.
We were best friends back in middle school. I know, it's so pathetic. This was when I was going out with my first boyfriend, Kyle. He's totally gorgeous, but then moved...
Bro. What the fuck? James Gunn literally found the only gay Asian midget in the world and said, you know what, you don't even have to know how to act, just be gay and show all your fucking gayness on screen. And we're gonna put you in a villain suit and do whatever. I don't even know if Judo Master's gay in the comics. I don't even know if Judo Master's even yeah, he's in the comics. I'm pretty sure he's in the comics. Cause I've seen pictures of him in the comics. Like, I didn't read the comics, but obviously I've seen pictures online during season 1 online. But I don't know if he's gay in the comics. But if he is, it would make sense why James Gunn wanted to use him. And if he's not, it makes it even worse. Oh my gosh, man. This is... I just can't, man. Like, all this shit is unraveling with James Gunn. He's just showing his entire fucking face right now. It's ridiculous, man. It's fucking ridiculous. I even had to... Once I saw this video, I was like, yeah. I feel like Homelander looking at old girl. I'm like, nah, dog. Nah, dog. Which makes sense as to why he sounds like this as Judo Master, man. And this right here is one of the more cringy scenes as well. Like, I know the whole hardcore pointing the gun at Keith at the end of the episode. I know that was probably the most cringe part of that episode. But this one's up here as well, and I totally forgot about this one.
Zippity zap, bitches!
Yeah. Thank God there's only one episode left, man. I cannot believe I was rooting for James Gunn and thinking that he was actually going to fix the DC, theatrical projects, the shit on HBO Max, and it's still the same. The shit's still the same. Like, it's meh. Like, Superman was meh. And this is just like, what have you done to my show? Even though it's your show, I get it. But what have you done to my show? You made it worse. You made it gay. You made it lame. Nobody likes it anymore, man. Except for the 50 same weirdos. And then Park Place goes on. They're showing examples of fame blaming a Hollywood pattern. So here are some examples. Star Wars branded unhappy fans as sexist and racist. Facts. Marvel Studios dismissed fan criticism of unpopular storylines as toxic. I.e., you can talk about Black Panther 2. You can talk about Ironheart. You can talk about the Marvels. You can talk about Miss Marvel. You can talk about Captain Marvel, which really kind of kicked it off. Where you're like, what the fuck? Nobody wants this. And Eternals. Don't even get me started on Eternals. Shang-Chi. Everybody wanted to go out and virtue signal for Shang-Chi. Like, bro, we're so numb to this shit now. We can see this shit and sniff it from a mile away. Now, with Peacemaker, it's a little bit different for me, which is why I made a whole video about it. And then I saw how mad people got. And I was just like, really? Y'all getting mad about this shit? When I liked the first one, I even have a positive video coming out about the first one that it came out with about the first one. And it's like, y'all don't really see what this motherfucker is doing. Y'all don't really see the BS that we have to sit here and watch. And that James Gunn is sitting here, he's sitting at home laughing and saying, it's like, bro, you're the only person laughing at this shit. Everyone else that I've seen review or people that I even talked with outside about whether, hey, you watch Peacemaker? Half the people don't even know, like, what? Peacemaker? Who's that? I'm like, okay, no. And the people that do know what it is, half of them stopped watching after season 1 or halfway through season 1. And then the other ones, they still watch it. The handful. And you know what they tell me? The same thing I say to them. I don't even laugh. It's not a good story. The characters suck. Half of them have no reason to even be there anymore, except for Vigilante. Hardcore is the most cringy. Like, this is the most insufferable character I have seen in a superhero movie since Zendaya as MJ in Spider-Man. Like, that's how cringy and insufferable that character is. I don't know, man. It's real bad. And for the people to say, "Oh, you were never a fan to begin with," or "you wanted," like, fam, don't even get me started on that. I got receipts of how long I've been a fan. Now, maybe not a fucking Peacemaker, because nobody knew who the fuck Peacemaker was. But let me tell you something, man. After season 1, I was like, yo, I want more Peacemaker. I want to see more of this guy. I want another season. And we finally get season 2, and this is what we've gotten. Yeah, I regret it. I regret wishing for a second season of Peacemaker. And now I'm hoping we don't get a third season. We need to put this character and this storyline to bed. I don't know, man. Let me know what you guys think. Hit that like, subscribe, all that good stuff. It's your boy Corn, and I am disappointed.